Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about my favorite AR rifle. This is the custom PX-9 from Palmetto State Armory. The reason why it's custom is mainly because of this paint job that they got on it, which is absolutely beautiful. Matches my jacket a little bit. So absolutely love it. The other thing that they've done to this rifle is it has a I have to write this down because I could not remember the name of it. It has a TACM 3-stage buffer. Okay, so instead of having just a buffer weight in there, right? It's got like a 3-stage buffer system, and the recoil on this with 9mm, it almost feels like a 22. I mean, it is really light. On this one over here, which is also a PX-9. This is the standard one. This one I think comes with a standard 4-ounce buffer weight, and what I did is I changed out the buffer weight to 8 ounces. Okay. What I found is when I was shooting this gun with a 4-ounce buffer weight, I could feel a lot of gas coming out over here. So when I put in the 8-ounce, I didn't feel as much gas coming out because it was slowing down the bolt coming back a little bit. Okay. So because I have these two guns, I'm able to kind of compare them. Now this one over here, depending on when you're buying them and what's going on in the news, this is going to cost somewhere between $700 to $900. Okay. This one over here, depending on what's going on in the news, this is going to cost somewhere from $1,100 to $1,300. Okay. So you're paying extra for the paint job. You're paying extra for the TACM buffer system, which actually does make the gun, the recoil, a lot lighter. Nowadays it's coming standard with a 3.5-pound match grade trigger. When I bought it, I paid $1,200 instead of $1,300, and basically I got one of these separate and installed it. It does make a difference as far as being able to consistently hit targets at distance with easier. Okay, so obviously the skill has to be there to start off with, but what I have found is with a 3.5-pound trigger, if I'm shooting at distance, I'm able to get the tighter groupings, right? And with this rifle, with these rifles, a tight grouping is about 3 inches at 100 yards. Okay. So if you're getting 3 inches with this rifle, I think you're having a good day. I mean, I have seen it go towards 2.5 inches occasionally, but it's not something that I can reliably repeat. Now, I am shooting target ammunition, right? Today I was shooting this with I think it was called Maxi. Basically, the cheapest brass that I could find, in bulk, 1,000 rounds. I'll show you the groups. Okay, so measure up. So this is at 50 yards. At 50 yards, getting an overall group of 2.5 inches, and then a cluster here, a 4-shot cluster of 1.5 inches. Okay. Now, one of the things I find with like this cheap target grade ammo is that you're always going to have these flyers out there. I mean, when I shoot, I pay attention to my dot. Generally, it doesn't move off target. It's like boom, boom, boom. So I know it's just inconsistency in the ammunition. Let me show you some other groups. These are at 100 yards. So now, first of all, you can see how it dropped at 100 yards, right? You would expect it. So, it dropped. Let's see, from the center, it dropped about 3 inches, right? So a 3-inch drop from 50 yards, where I had my 0 out to 100 yards. Okay. So looking at the grouping over here, total grouping, 3 3/4 inches. I've got that one flyer out there. The 4-shot cluster is 2 3/4 inches. Okay. Another one over here. Again, this one, total grouping 4.5 inches, with a cluster here of about 3 inches. Okay, so now it's winter time now. Obviously, I'm wearing a lot more bulk, right? And plus, there's probably about a 5-mile-per-hour wind that picks up every now and then. So in the summer, because I didn't just get this rifle, I had this. I think I had this back in July, August. In the summertime, I was hitting 3-inch groups more consistently. Okay, now, you know, because it's winter, because it's a little bit more windy, because I'm wearing more clothes, I'm seeing that my groups are, you know, a little bit more towards 4 inches. Okay. Now let's compare this gun here, which is the custom one, to the standard one. Okay, and I've got a lot of these standard ones. I've got them in different sizes. This one here is at about 10,000 rounds. You know, you guys follow my channel, you know I'm a full-time gun instructor. So I travel around, I train people on these guns. So my guns get very high round counts. Just to, you know, tell you guys about this gun, like I've broken extractors on this gun. That's a point of vulnerability. And I've also broken triggers. On this one, I broke trigger pins. You see how the Palmetto was pretty good, but Palmetto's excellent with the customer service. It takes them a while to get around to it, but they usually replace all the parts that break. But those are the parts that you got to be just be aware of. The extractor is going to usually break as you start getting into those high round counts, and your trigger group's going to break. 9mm, it's a straight blowback. You know, it doesn't have that rotating bolt to like an AR to slow it down a little bit, right? So because it's got that, because it's straight blowback, it beats up the gun a lot more. So these ship with the standard 4-ounce buffer weight, and per Palmetto's recommendation, when I was talking to I think it was actually the CEO over there, but when I was talking to him, he recommended an 8-ounce buffer weight. And when I put in the 8-ounce buffer weight, I saw that the gun was shooting a lot more smoothly, and also I was getting a lot less gas, you know, out of the ejection port. So it definitely shoots better with the 8-ounce buffer. And I've hit 3-inch groups with this gun over here, just with the standard trigger group, 8-ounce buffer weight. You know, I've hit 3-inch groups plenty of times. So it's the same barrel that's in both guns. Okay. So having the lighter recoil, having the 3.5 pound trigger on this, it makes it easier to hit those better groups. Okay, so it's not going to make you a better shooter, but it's going to make it easier for you. That's what I've noticed. The other thing I've noticed is I'm able to take, with this 3.5 pound match grade trigger, I'm able to take my shots a little bit faster just because my finger's doing a little bit more work. So I'm able to get the same groups that I'd be getting with the other trigger. I'm just able to shoot a little bit faster and stay within those same groupings. Okay. So yeah, I absolutely love this gun. I've got this set up for distance shooting. Now one of the, basically I got the Holosun 510C. I pretty much got that on all my PX-9s. 510C. I love the big window. You know, you can come up, find that dot fast. You know, you can shoot these, do your transitions. You know, it's you could be moving and shooting, running and shooting, right? Because you got that big window, you're able to, to stay on that reticle, and try to keep it on target a lot better than you can do. Let's say if you have one of the other optics that have the tube. And I really love the idea of the magnifier, because you can get out of the way when you don't need it and put it back when you do need it. Now, many years ago, I really didn't, I really didn't believe in magnifiers, because I'm like, hey, you only get 3x out of this. If you're going to be shooting at distance, why not get like a variable 1:8? Well, the 1:8s, usually they come in at 1.5 pounds. That adds significant weight to the rifle. And the thing with, if you got a variable 1:8, which I do have, right? I do have that on one of my rifles. The thing is that you're stuck with it, right? The nice thing about this is if you feel that you're not going to be shooting in distance, these come off really easy. They got that quick release here. Okay, you just take this off, put this in your pocket. You don't need this extra weight. You just take it off. So that's the biggest benefit I find the magnifier. And I'm able to switch this over to that gun. So that's one of the reasons why I've become a big believer in magnifiers. This one over here, I used to have backup sights on this, right? I used to have the backup sights. I took them off. Main thing, 2 reasons. First of all, the Holosun's very reliable. You got solar powered with a battery backup. you know, so I came to the conclusion I really don't need the flip-up sights, which I never use. I'd rather use that space back here to put the magnifier. And here's the thing, obviously you got to keep, there's only so much space between the on the upper receiver here. Let me put this on here for a second. I'll put it on this one up here so you can see it clear, but it's for the lighter color. Okay, so here's the thing. The receiver is basically from here to here, right? So the optic has to be on the receiver. You can't put it on the rail over here because that's not as stable. I mean, it's probably pretty stable, but in order to get your best groupings, you have to stay on your upper receiver. So there's really no, once you put the magnifier on there, there's no place for a rear sight. So I never use the flip-up sights unless I'm actually just training somebody to use them. So on these guns, I decided to just take it off altogether, okay? Now, one of the things I'm going to say with these PX-9s, they do not have the last round bolt hold open, okay? Now on this PX-9 here, right, this has the 8-ounce buffer weight. I am able to lock it back, okay? So I can pretty much do everything I would do on an AR, with the exception that it, you know, I can lock it open and load it, right? I can do my lock and load, but the only thing is that it will not lock open on my last round. So I've had to add a step, right? Because here's the thing, I use these ETS magazines. These rifles are very rough on these ETS magazines, right? Because the bolt goes across, it chews up the feed lips. Over time, they get worn out. So sometimes, you know, as these magazines get worn out, you can get jams because of that. So the procedure that I've adopted is when I want to do a magazine change, right? I'm going to drop my magazine, right? I'm going to run my bolt to make sure there's nothing in there, put the new magazine in, and then chamber it around. So I've had to add that extra step because it does not have that last round bolt hold open, okay? Reason why Palmetto says they don't offer that on these rifles is because if they do add it, it will make the gun a lot more expensive, or it will become less reliable. I'll take them at the word. Well, actually, I have had some experience with that. I had a customer, he had a Stag Arms rifle, last round, bolt hold open, first day shooting it. You know, he had a problem with exactly that feature. So that kind of made me believe what Palmetto said on that. Okay. Now with the custom, the PX-9 custom, right? Because it has that what do you call it? The TACOM. I have to write down. I can't remember this. The TACOM 3-stage buffer system, which actually makes this thing, you know, recoil a lot lighter. Because of that system, you cannot lock this open, right? You cannot pull this back far enough to lock this open. So that's, you know, you just gotta be aware that you're losing that, okay? I did read somewhere that if you take out one of the 3 pieces, you can. I tried it, I couldn't. Maybe I did it wrong, whatever, but, you know, I prefer to just keep it in there and just know that I cannot lock it open. Now, normally on my AR, I prefer standard size charging handles, right? Because if you use an oversized charging handle or ambidextrous one, usually I find it catches stuff, it snags on stuff, right? But on a gun that I'm going to be using a magnifier, what I found is, you know, because of the magnifier, it's hard to get your hands in there. So on this gun, I did put the ambidextrous charging handle, okay? So this is a gun that I primarily shoot distance with. But here's the thing. The thing I love about using, and this is the reason why I love these 9mm ARs, okay? With these guns, I'm able to shoot 100 yards, 150 yards, 200 yards even. Okay. And what I'm able to do is practice realistic tactics, right? Where, you know, you take that long distance shot, right? You're in distance, then basically flip the magnifier off. Okay. Okay. So I'm shooting that steel plate there at about 25 feet. Okay. That's not something that you can safely do with 5.56. You cannot shoot a steel plate like that at this distance at about 25 feet with 5.56. And that is the reason why these Palmetto PX-9s are my favorite AR rifles, okay? They're just practical for me in the sense that I can shoot distance, right? I can comfortably shoot 100 yards, right? You know, and then I can immediately transition into close quarter combat, right? And then I can also transition back to distance shooting. Now that's one of the things that usually, it often is lacking from training setups, right? Because, you know, a lot of times you go to a shoot house and they just do close quarter combat, right? People set up their rifles just for close quarter combat, but they're not able to take it out afterwards and shoot long distance, which is a likely scenario, right? I mean, what are you gonna do? You know, what are you gonna? You know, there's a good chance that the fight from indoors is then gonna move outdoors, and you're gonna be engaging at longer distances. So a lot of these shoot houses, they're set up just so that you can shoot indoors. Likewise, distance ranges are set up so you can only shoot at distances. You can't do a lot of CQB work. That's part of the reason why I set up this location the way I have it set up, where I can shoot both distance and then immediately go, you know, into you know, close quarter type shooting. And these Palmettos are excellent for that. And that's why, you know, most of my training I do with these Palmetto PX-9s. You know, when I'm traveling around different gun ranges, these are usually, I bring along an AR that shoots 5.56, but I also bring along these Palmetto PX-9s. A lot of times what I find is that people, what they do is they buy their first gun, right? They get themselves some 9mm pistol. Never shot the gun before. And what I do is when I meet them at the range, I bring along I know they're going to have 9mm ammo. I bring along my Palmetto. I don't bring this one. This is my baby. Only I shoot this one. I bring along this one. And before I start training them on the pistol, I'm going to train them on this gun over here. I'm going to teach them how to use the reticle, how to get it on target. I'm going to teach them, hey, I'm going to teach them to follow through on this. It's a lot easier to teach somebody to shoot on a rifle. And then afterwards, I'll put them on a pistol. They'll get good at it, right? But then I'll say, hey, you see how much easier the rifle? So yeah, the rifle was a lot easier. Well, I go, and that's the point I'm trying to bring out. I'll tell them the rifle is always your primary gun, the pistol's the backup gun. And these Palmettos have been extremely valuable training tools, both for myself and for, you know, traveling around training other people. But like I said, this Palmetto PX-9, this custom PX-9, is my favorite AR of all the ARs out there. And again, let me show you the grouping I hit with. Again, this is with just target ammo, a 2.5-inch cluster at 50 yards. I'm sorry, 2.5-inch group at 50 yards with a 1.5-inch cluster over here. That's at 50 yards. And here at 100 yards. Today I hit a 3 3/4-inch group with a 2 3/4-inch cluster. But I know from the summertime when I was shooting this on nice days, I'll get those 3-inch groups very consistently. Okay, so hope you guys enjoyed this video. The only thing I gotta do, before I had a black 510C on it, I just got this tan colored one. I gotta see if I can get a tan colored one over here, match it all up. Or I might go the other way. I may end up putting the black one on here. This way you have that contrast. But absolutely love this rifle. I would love for Palmetto to make it one with an 8-inch barrel. I would suck that right up, man. So anyway, if you guys enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Drop some comments below. Let me know. You know, give me some ideas, what you guys think of this video, some of the things I said. You know, give some of your own ideas if you have them. If you're not a member of the channel, subscribe and hit that bell button so you get notification of the new videos that I put up. I'll talk to you guys soon.